Plant was set up and modest amounts were made here, around about 5 tonnes a week. And the last high explosive made here was something called RDX, which you may have heard of. No? It stands for Research and Development Explosive. You may know it better as cyclotrimethylene trinitramine. Yeah, you do.
Oh, yes.
I thought you look that type that would know that. If I say that was the high explosive used in the famous bouncing bombs, that was good timing. And if you think that the raid on the Ruhr dams in Germany helped bring an end to World War II, you can see also how important this site was. Now, it closed really round about middle of 1943, but in 1945 it reopened as a top secret research establishment. We've got some volunteers who worked here back then, back in the 1980s. They won't tell us what they did. They all signed the Official Secrets Act. Even now, we torture some of them, tickle their toes and things. They still won't tell us what they did. And we closed our doors for good in 1991, decontaminated most of the site, and in 2001 we opened to the public. Now, on the left is what we call the Millhead Stream, and you can see the beginning of a mill, which is defined by that giant concrete boulder. We call those traverses or blast walls. So the mills would have been in the middle, and those blast walls would contain explosions. So the explosion would go upwards and outwards instead of destroying any mills further along the stream. There were about 13 original water-powered gunpowder mills along this stream, which we call the Millhead Stream. It's first mentioned on a map in 1390. But it was obviously here for hundreds of years before then. There were mills on this site as early as 1320. Now, they weren't gunpowder mills, they were mills operated by the monks of Waltham Abbey. They were just oil mills, they were making oil from seeds. Quite a busy day today, isn't it? This area on the right that these guys are inhabiting is an area called Queen's Mead, mead being short for meadow, and they would cut hay from here for Queen Elizabeth I's riding stables back in the late 1500s. The building coming up on the right is the only two-storey building on the factory site. It was a laboratory used for testing all the batches of cordite that were made here. That building was erected in 1897, and they put the top part on 5 years later. It wasn't a great place to work. It didn't have a fire escape, so anything went bang downstairs, it was straight out the window. And they do say the paint was, the wood was painted blue to stop the workers stealing it before its construction. Building coming up on the right was a building, I call it a Cold War building. It was built during the 1950s. The rocket scientists that were here at that time would test all their fuels at high temperatures and humidities. So we call those climatic testing chambers, so they would know that the rockets would work higher up in the atmosphere. Now it's quite a good shelter for our deer. We've got about 60 fallow deer on this site, but you won't see them today. They're probably sheltering from the sun somewhere. Now, gunpowder. If I say gunpowder, who do you think of? Guy Fawkes. Well, Guy Fawkes was arrested very near here in a house called Whitewebs over in Enfield Chase. So it's very possible, and I think we were making gunpowder around about early 1600. He was arrested in actually 1605, so he could have well got his gunpowder from here. And it was very easy from here. You would float it on a boat down the River Lee onto the Thames. I think he brought about 36 barrels in all, but we have no evidence of that. Now everyone knows